Well, thank you, Barney, so much for your introduction and for your leadership. It was indeed my great good fortune to get to speak with Barney and ultimately to offer him the position as the head of the COPS office, a choice made by your keynote speaker here later today. And we're extraordinarily fortunate that Barney and his wife decided to come to Washington and take on the challenge of heading the COPS office. Having had the opportunity to work with him for now more than nearly 2 years, I know that the office could not be in better hands. I'd like to thank both Barney, but also the entirety of the COPS office, all the folks who work tirelessly every day, both to ensure that federal money gets spent wisely, but also to make certain that critical information is in the hands of our law enforcement officers all across the country when they need it. I'd also like to thank all the members of the audience, all of the law enforcement officers and public safety professionals for doing what you do every day, for helping to protect our children, for keeping our streets safe, and for protecting the United States from threats, foreign and domestic. We can never say enough times that no matter how much we invest in crime fighting, no matter how much we invest in counterterrorism efforts at the federal level, it all starts with you. And it's an honor to be here today speaking to you and introducing our keynote speaker. It's also an honor to commemorate a great friend and dedicated public servant, Tony Sutton, who would be proud to see all that the COPS program has become, the COPS program that he helped found. I'll speak only a couple of minutes because I'm really here to introduce someone else. But given the title of this conference, Advancing Public Safety in the New Economy, and all that has gone on in this town over the last few weeks, I wanted to say a few words about the COPS office and its role in a new economy. And first, I want to give voice to I think, something that everyone in the COPS office has probably been feeling over the past few years. It's been a bit of a roller coaster. After its inception in the crime bill of 1994 and years of very substantial funds that led to hiring thousands and thousands of police officers, in an era where the COPS office was instrumental not only in that hiring, but also in developing policies to bring the crime rate down all across the country. There were a number of years of lean years of only modest funding. Throughout that, however, the office has remained an important player in the landscape of public safety, generating thousands of publications on new techniques in policing and best practices, gathering the knowledge developed by all of you on a daily basis and disseminating it throughout the country. Everywhere I go, I hear from police chiefs and line police officers that COPS publications are the gold standard, both because of their reliability and because they are written to communicate practical information to the field. Now, after those lean years in 2009, as Barney said when I came to the department, we had the Recovery Act, and COPS found itself facing the daunting but welcome challenge of disseminating $1 billion in hiring funds in a few short months. That was my first exposure to the COPS office after being away from the department for about 8 years, and I can speak personally about what an extraordinary job they did in disseminating that hiring funding as quickly as possible to communities all across the country. Over the last couple of years, we've had more important funding, albeit less than we believed was necessary, but today we recognize that the COPS office and many other offices are looking at the reduced expectations that may come with our current budget situation. Now, I know these ups and downs have not been easy to weather, but they do lead to my second point, and that is that as this conference shows, in this environment, the COPS office has never been more relevant and never been more important. At a time when police forces need information they can rely on without having to invest time and resources to hunt down the best training or the best practices for meeting a new challenge, the COPS office is of critical importance. At a time when shrinking budgets will require police forces to do more with less, the COPS office is of critical importance, not just for the hiring dollars that it disseminates, but also because it can, as it always has been, a leader in helping promote what works. In this environment, we simply can't be spending money on what doesn't work. And at a time when fewer resources means state, local, and tribal law enforcement must collaborate more with its traditional partners and with new partners to get the job done, the COPS office is of critical importance. Community policing is, after all, collaboration and problem solving, and never have those things been more important as we try to make the country safer without new resources. Never have innovative and effective police techniques been more important, and in short, never has community policing been more important. I believe the COPS office can and will be a leader as police forces face the challenges, the new challenges of the new economy. It's now my great pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker today. I won't go through his bio, which I think many of you know, but I can say, having seen it up close and personal every day for more than 2 years, there is no stronger supporter of the men and women who patrol our streets than Eric Holder. He has fought and fought for you on issues as critical and esoteric as spectrum and as fundamental and personal as the safety of our law enforcement professionals. When he came into office in 2009, one of the first things he did was bring state, local, and tribal law enforcement officials back to the Department of Justice to revive partnerships that are essential to protecting the public most effectively. And he reminds all of us at the department on a regular basis that we will only do our jobs well if we are good partners, if we collaborate effectively with our state, local, and tribal partners.